Hi there, and I want to wish you all a peaceful Christmas. And I just felt called to come on and share my perspective on Christmas, especially for those who have a very difficult or different experience of what Christmas is. And Christmas can be a lot for people who are not, their Christmas doesn't look like anybody else. And when I was journaling this morning, I had an idea that I wanted to put out a Christmas message. And if you're in the UK at this particular time, about 3 p.m, there'll be a live speech from the monarch, and there will also probably be an alternative speech and so forth. And I just wanted to put we're on social media, we all want to be social, and I just wanted to share a perspective on Christmas that maybe doesn't get talked about enough. And so many people are having their own Christmas that doesn't look like the norm, and yet having no one to share it with as well. So hi to anyone who's jumped in. I'm just talking about Christmas in a new way. So I want to offer my Christmas speech and speak some realness into the world at this time. So if I'm looking down, just bear with me, because these are some of my journal notes, and I just wanted to make sure that I'm sharing my notes as the way that I wrote it as well, because I think this is really important to say. So I want to offer my Christmas speech and speak some realness into the world at this time. And firstly, I hope that you're able to have the Christmas that you desired. And this message is for those whose Christmas isn't like Hollywood or the Hallmark movie normal. And I know that this time of year can be brutal, especially if it's the first one where your Christmas is looking a little bit different from what you're used to. So I just want to share from me who has chosen over the years to have different Christmases, to spend Christmases in my own space. I really understand what it is, what it can give you, and also what it shows you as well. And sometimes the realness of it isn't always the easiest thing to deal with, but it actually brings with it some massive gifts if you can sit with it over the other side as well. And I just want to share that as well. So maybe this first Christmas is, maybe the people that you would normally spend Christmas with are no longer here. And so I invite you to spend some time thinking about those people today as well. Hi there, hi there. And think of them today, because whether they're just in a different physical space or whether they've passed over, they're not as far away as you believe, because the minute that we actually think about the people that we want around us at Christmas, they're with us in our thoughts, and it makes it really real for us, their experience or the experience of them. We might think about the jokes that we shared. We might think about things that we would have done had we have been together at this time as well. So you can use it to honour and respect and hold something in your heart for them as well. And then there are people that you should spend Christmas with. And sometimes for some people, the shoulds in this world, doesn't always mean that you're going to have this happy and joyful and peaceful Christmas. So that's when things start to get a little bit tricky, because a lot of the time you're answering questions. People want to say, oh, you're looking forward to Christmas, and you know that Christmas is going to be something that you need to just have to breathe through and get through it. And it doesn't always look the same. And sometimes voicing that you're going to have a different Christmas then brings questions that you don't necessarily want to answer, or you don't feel that this person knows you well enough. And a lot of the time people just say things, out of politeness, out of habit and tradition, like, you're looking forward to Christmas. For some people, this time of year is tough. And I just think that things don't get spoken about to respect that there are people out there who are just having to do things in a different way. And a lot of the time they do want to share, but most of the time you're just going to be like, oh yeah, Christmas is going to be fine, knowing that the day is just going to be tough for you, because most people are going to be putting out their the best version on social media. Very few people are going to talk about or talk to the people who are just waiting for the day to pass. And I've had varying different Christmases over the time as well. So I know what it is to have a different Christmas, and I know what it is to feel the confrontation of your emotions when you choose to have a different Christmas, and at the same time also have to pretend to people that it's going to be a happy, jolly day, knowing that you're going to have a very different time of it as well. So you know, with where am I? I'm going back to my notes as well, because I want to make sure that I say everything properly. And sometimes when we're speaking to these people, it's not necessarily, they're not necessarily the safest person to speak to. They just don't know us very well, and they're just being polite, you know. So when you're trying to create safety and peace for yourself, watching the world slip into stress and mania is kind of it brings it really home to the choices that you've made as well. So if you know that your day is going to be very calm and very quiet, seeing everyone kind of ramp up to this big party that they're going to have, this massive celebration, and seeing them move into this kind of like, almost like I said, a manic spirit has taken over them, and you're trying to go into a separate space, that also shows the difference between the experience of what they're seeing or what you're seeing. And just as it being human nature, it's not always easy for you to just pretend that it's not happening, because you're just looking at what they're doing, and then in contrast knowing the kind of day that you're going to have as well. So that's a lot. And we're swamped with emotions, and we have to decide how we're going to deal with them. And there are varying different choices. And I'm speaking from experience of all of these choices, because I've kind of moved through all of them over the years as well. So firstly, you might want to override the feelings that are coming up for you as well. So you might choose food or drink. You might just shut down, pretend it's not happening. You can get lost in TV. There are so many ways to distract ourselves, and as time goes on, there are more and more ways to distract ourselves as well. So you find a way to just kind of submerge and push those emotions down. And the thing about anything that we use to pretend that something's not happened, or to push emotions deeper into our body, is that eventually it's going to come up. So if we're using something like drink or overeating, then we're going to have some sort of like payoff the next day. We're going to have a hangover, we're going to feel bloated or tired. So then the next day, then we're feeling, oh, I'm never going to drink again. Oh, I've eaten too much. I've messed up on my diet. So we're going through the physical repercussions of that. But then also there is guilt with regard to what we did to actually deal with those emotions as well. So that in itself can be a lot to process. It means then the one day that should have been joyful then becomes this kind of prolonged thing as you start to work through those emotions that you felt that you thought you could just deal with them, or tell yourself that they're not happening. And then going on to the next one is shutting down. And I used to do this myself a few times as well, just pretend that Christmas wasn't happening, you know, and just go into this, yeah, it doesn't matter, it's 24 hours, it'll be okay, it'll be done. But the thing is, when you shut down, when you close your heart, you're also shutting out as well. And initially it may feel like it's the safest thing to do for you. But again, you're delaying the inevitable, because the emotion is still there, and the emotion will still come up. And it's for you, like, how are you going to deal with this, if ever you're going to choose to deal with this as well, or maybe somewhere down the line you'll feel strong enough to do so, which is where I come to the last part as well. And this is the most challenging, but it is the most rewarding way to deal with your emotions. But this is not to force anyone to go into any one direction. This is me just sharing how I have over the years come to really face what it is that I feel, and the beauty that has come out of the other side of that. And I'll share with that as well. So the most challenging way is to stay open and to allow yourself all that comes up for you. And this is hard, because strong emotions always feel like they're going to be the death of us, that they're going to destroy us. And the feeling, for example, the feeling of heartache is real, and it's literally that. It's, for me, I've had it where it's a literal ache in my heart. Like it feels like a thump in the chest. I can't describe it any other way. Going through grief, feeling grief at this point of time. Grief is just a wretched emotion that you just have to ride the waves of it. But again, it's seeing it come through and go round and learning to ride the waves of grief and see the gift in grief at the same time as well. At this point in the year, we might be dealing with disappointment. Disappointment is a heavy old emotion. The regret, the disappointment of things that should have gone one way and didn't go another, the things that we wish we would have done and hadn't. We may be feeling shame as well, and shame is something that will literally just burn. Feel it in your face. It's burning your cheeks. It's like, my God, did that happen? Did I really do this? So again, sitting with these emotions at this time when everyone is on the jolly and bright side is hard in contrast, but it does give you a gift. And then solitude, being with yourself, is just confronting. There is nowhere else to go. There's no one to talk you out of it. If you're choosing to just sit with the emotion, then it's there in your face and it's showing you exactly what it is and you're feeling exactly what it is. So what you gain from staying and experiencing your emotions is discovering more of yourself. Emotions do not and they cannot destroy you. And there's kind of like this fairy tale of people dying from a broken heart, and I don't believe that's true. I believe that to an extent is almost fear-mongering amongst our own minds, just thinking this will be the death of me. It won't. It will be the awakening of a deeper part of yourself to yourself as well. And raw emotions, what they do is it is raw. You are destroying the walls that you've put up around yourself to protect your heart, because when you think that you're putting a fence around to protect something, you're also protecting the inside, that you're protecting as well where people can actually come into you as well. So what feels like heartbreaking is usually the shattering of the barriers we've placed around ourselves when it comes to emotions. And I wrote here as well, I know that they say that people have died from broken hearts, and I used to believe that as well, because I'd see that people would deteriorate after something that was very big and emotional, but I don't believe it's true, because through the podcast I've met so many people who've dealt with things that would have taken other people out or have taken other people out. And I believe what it is, that it's not that we're dying from a broken heart. We're dying when we decide that we can't go on anymore. On some level, we just go, I can't take it. I can't go any more forward. I'm dying here as well. So those are ideas that I have around emotion. But my choice was this, and this is what I gained from this whole experience. And this is why I wanted to share, just to show that I've been through these solitary Christmases. So I have some experience, and I want to share that for anyone who is feeling the raw emotions at this time, for anyone who this is the first time that they're having to have a Christmas that looks very different from what it usually is or what they feel it should be, because of the images that are sent out to us on social media. So my choice was this, and in the midst of feeling submerged by my emotions, I decided that the pain was never going to take me out, and that I was going to be transformed into a more compassionate version of myself, because I understand how savage emotions can be, and I understand also why people will do anything that they can to avoid feeling raw emotions, and especially feeling raw emotions at this point in time. And to close and to offer you hope, if you're choosing to feel the emotions at this time, is that the break in my heart has made space for greater capacity to love. And no matter who comes and tries it, so let it be known, like, it's not going to take me out. I've felt raw emotions. I've felt what it is to feel that this is the end of me. And it hasn't been. it hasn't been. It's actually grown me, because I've been able to sit with it and really see what's happening and understand that I wasn't put here to be taken out by my emotions. I was here to feel and understand how transformative my emotions can be. And I want to share this for anyone who's out there feeling whatever you're feeling at this point in time, that feels like it is going to overcome you and submerge you. It cannot. It can give you a capacity for more. It has made me become more expansive. I'm never going to become bitter. You know, there'll be moments where I kind of go over things over and over again and think about things over and over again and maybe feel, why did this happen? Why is it happening to me? But it's just a greater understanding, and also the choice is mine at some point to go, I'm not going to do this anymore to myself. I'm going to allow myself to become more of it and actually realize that I can hold on to those harder, those challenging emotions that feel like they're shaking every part of me. But what they're doing is kind of just pushing against the edges that I've held up and have given me more of myself. And I've recognized the gifts that the challenges in my life have given me. They've given me my tenacity. They've given me resilience. They've given me dark humour. I can laugh at things that are probably not that funny. They've given me my vision, because in going through these things, I know that it's not an easy thing for everyone to experience, and therefore I can share and guide for anyone who's going through something challenging, to say that there is a way to sit through this, there's a way to feel through this, there's a way to breathe through this, and also use what it does and what it changes in you, how it transforms you. It's given me my creativity. I'm a songwriter at heart, and anyone who loves a good love song knows that the deeper the pain, the better the song. You know, so I know that feeling these emotions is given me an abundance of emotions to draw from, an abundance of ways to write and communicate in a way that feels real to people who have been through whatever and experiencing whatever. I know how to draw on those memories and to translate them and to transform them out. And also, it's given me my fully dialed in BS detector, I put here, because after a while, after you've seen certain things a few times, you know, because I'm 51 now, so I've seen things a few times, you recognize patterns, and you're just like, we're not going to do that anymore, you know, lovingly, but it's not going to happen. And also, and most of all, I would say that this has given me full and honest trust in myself, that nothing else outside of me allowing myself to feel emotions in the face of it being the opposite to what everyone else is feeling, is that it's just given me total and utter trust in myself and knowing that I can't be brought down by my emotions. These are just opportunities for my own growth. So I'm sharing this as my Christmas message, my real, true, authentic Christmas message, especially to those who are feeling the feels. The world is showing us so much pain and so much suffering at the moment, and people are choosing to deal with it on so many different levels, or trying to just take a moment away from it. But allow yourself to feel what it is. It can't break you. All it will do is break you open into more of yourself. So wishing you the best, wishing you having the most peaceful version of what it is that you're experiencing today, and peace.